Good vibes, child of God. I am Y311H. On today's episode, I'll be your host, and it's a pleasure. I really thank the Lord Almighty for giving me this chance. Now, here, Good Vibes Soul, we believe in a God that is mighty, just, loving, and supreme. And through Him, we believe that we can spread our message to the whole world of peace. Not just that, unite all earthlings. Make sure we are loving towards one another, forgiving, and honest. And this message, child of God, we pass it to the whole world by reacting to good vibes videos, different types of videos with different information. And all these videos, we get to go through them together with you. You have the whole comment section down below, which is at your disposal to leave your thoughts and comments and what might cross your mind while seeing these videos. And all this time, my friend, we shall be guided, protected, and covered by this mighty supreme God, because we shall acknowledge them and involve them in our show of today with a word of thanks. But before we do so, child of God, I will share with you something for your soul. This one will add more strength to you, give you hope, and educate you a little bit on what goes on around in the world. And it's direct from the book of wisdom, specifically Micah. Micah chapter 7, verse 6, going down. Hear what it says. For a son dishonors his father, a daughter rises up against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the members of his own household. But as for me, I watch in hope for the Lord. I wait for God, my Savior. My God will hear me. Interesting. May God hear you, my friend, when you call unto Him for help or for any issue in your life. Now, let's involve this mighty, adorable God, my friend, with a word of thanks before we begin the show. Dear Lord, Father, full of mercies and kindness, we come before you today in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for this chance to be alive, Father, and this chance to be gathered here together with your adorable child, today's viewer. Dear Lord, through today's reaction, may you give this viewer a life-transforming experience, Father. Uplift their souls, give them strength, Father, and remember them, dear Lord, individually from wherever they are watching from. Be good to them and merciful, Father, and forgive them all their sins. Help them to walk in your paths, Father, and to do good and to be grateful for all the things you've done for them. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes.
It'll kill off any person in a relationship with. When I was living in Mississippi, they had this thing called white liver. And what that meant is a woman that they would say a woman had a white liver if she's had at least 3 lovers that have died after getting with her. That's a spirit spouse.
So multiple people have had that?
Yeah. The spirit spouse is one of the most common demons undetected in the United States of America. Women have, and women have it and men have it. They can have a spirit spouse. Well, a spirit spouse will kill off your spouse if they can. They can't. The Bible says Satan knows about seeking whom he may devour. So he can't devour everybody. But sometimes they can attack. They can attack, for example, your finances, where you can't get a job. After you start dating this woman, you cannot get a job. Every job you get, every opportunity, your life just begins to dry up. They start having dreams that somebody's chasing them with a knife or a sword or something like that, saying, stay away from my wife or what have you. Those are signs that she may have a spirit spouse, something. All of a sudden, they start dealing with health issues. I can name celebrities that I was like, he died after he married her. He died after he married her. I hate to say this, but even, what's his name? Played on the Black Panther.
Yes.
Chad Boseman. Yeah. And I'm not going to say that she had it because he could have been the one that had a spirit spouse. But he had been with her for all these years and then he get married. Spirit spouses are very jealous. They see that as their spouse. And so typically I go into investigative mode if I hear somebody get married and then the person dies. The other person that dies, I said either that person had a spirit spouse or their spouse had a spirit spouse. One or the other had a spirit spouse. That's not true in 100% of the cases, but it is true in many cases. It's common in many cases. I think he had a cancer and I started investigating. And I don't remember what I came up with, but I was like, did he have that before he got with her? Because that's what spirit spouses do. If he had one, it would have got jealous He would have got mad when he got into a relationship and got serious. Spirit spouses don't mind you being promiscuous. They mind you getting serious because they see you as their property.
How does anybody acquire a spirit spouse?
It's witchcraft. Always comes through witchcraft. And most of the time, most people that have them, it came through their bloodline. It came as a generational lineage.
Did y'all see that video when the man was like, if you ever get stranded, change your voicemail to your proximate location and any information somebody may need to find you? Why is that like so simple? But I would have never thought of it until I saw that video. Literally.
If you don't know what the Kardashians do to be billionaires, I don't know what to tell you. Earth to people on my channel, if you're in the cult, so let's look at it as a cult. Let's call the cult Luciferianism, satanic, inverted world religion, perverted, Baphomet. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Call it whatever. Mormonism, all of that. Call it all of that. So the club that they're in gives them the cabal. That's really what they are. And ask yourself why those witches elevated to control everything with they touch their faces. If they really walked their walk, they wouldn't have like the shitty nose job, the diaper in the booty, and they wouldn't have all plastic surgery themselves. Not the oldest one, is it Courtney? Whoever's married to Blink 81 guy. They wouldn't have done all that, but they don't look like themselves. They don't look like themselves. Who are they? Who are they? Like, what? You're not even attractive. You're average. But you went and spent money, and now I'm supposed to listen to you because why?
We just went to the bank and the grocery store. Me, Levi, Charlie. 2 kids and me. The number of people that said, oh, look who's babysitting today. Nice of you to give babysitting. I'm not babysitting. They're my kids. Oh, look, so nice of you to give mom a break. I'm not giving her a break. I'm being their dad. This is part of my job. The standard that we have for dads right now is so abysmally low, it's embarrassing. Dads, do better, because this should not be a surprise to people that I'm just showing up and doing basic stuff with my kids.
Things I don't understand. Number one are keys. How the hell do we all have a different key? With all the door locks in the world, it can't be a different key for every one of them. It ain't too many damn ways you can cut a key. It gotta be at least 10 people out there that got the same key to your house. I don't get it. Number 2 is daylight savings time. Who the hell had the authority to add an extra hour to the clock? Playing with folk clocks in the middle of the night, confusing me and shit. So in the wintertime, I feel like I'm asleep longer. And in the summertime, I feel like I done overslept. Or is it the other way around? See, I don't get it. Number 3 are CDs. How does a thin circular disc play music? They say you're supposed to burn the music on the CD, whatever the fuck that means. Would I light it on fire? Then the sound wave reflect off of this and that. Shut the fuck up. How does it work? I don't get it. Number 4 are cameras. I can't even explain what I don't understand because I don't understand it so much. What inside of a camera allows you to take the picture? All we gotta do is press one button and that picture is took. I don't get it.
So listen, if you have daughters and you get old and sick and are in the hospital, guess what? They're going to be there and they're going to take care of you. Speaking from experience, taking care of a lot of old people, it's always the daughters who are at the bedside. Now, not that the sons are never involved, don't get me wrong, but anecdotally, the daughters are generally always there and always taking notes and always the ones on top of things. So to my fellow healthcare workers out there, what do you guys think about this? Have you noticed this as well? Give me a comment below.
Why did Jesus always tell the people he healed and drove out darkness from, don't tell anyone I healed you? If you look closely into this and observe, this is one of the biggest power moves that Jesus taught us. I mean, the whole Bible warns us not to tell anybody anything. Mark 1:44, see that you say nothing to anyone. Matthew 8:4, don't tell anyone. Luke 5:14, tell no one. If you take a look at the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, Law 3 says this: conceal your intentions. Jesus was trying to tell us something. He knew the more people know, the more they sabotage, the more they expect, the more they twist. The more you reveal prematurely, the more they try to contain you. Look what would have happened if the people started to spread the miracles too soon to everyone. They would try to make Jesus king before the cross. Because exposure too early invites opposition too soon. Power that is hidden is power that is unshaken. Because the minute people misunderstand your purpose, they'll try to redefine it for you. Silence isn't weakness, it's your biggest power move and your protection. Move in silence. Let your fruit speak for yourself. And when God says it's time, He'll reveal you in a way that no man can deny, just like Jesus.
You do not owe your parents for them raising you. When we have kids, it is our job to raise them and provide for them. They didn't choose to come into this world. We chose to bring them into the world. That makes it our responsibility. If your parents raised you with the expectation that you would please them and give them and do for them whatever they want and allow them to treat you however they wanted for the rest of their life, that isn't love, that's manipulation. Only a self-centered parent would provide for their kids basic needs for 18 years and then expect their child to sacrifice their mental health, their life and relationships for the next 38 years. You're not obligated to your parents. Being kind to them and respecting them is great if you want to do that, but you don't owe them for them doing their job.
I'm absolutely obsessed with this research. So you probably know the invisible gorilla experiment. You get asked to count the number of times a basketball team is passing the ball to each other. It's quite hard. There's a lot going on in the visual environment. You feel super smug when you get the right answer. And then they say, did you notice the massive gorilla walking through the middle? No, you didn't. But some researchers looked at this and they said, yeah, but these people aren't professional counters of basketball passing, so maybe that's why their inattentional blindness is happening. What if we take experts and we ask them to do the task they're an expert in, but we hide a gorilla? So they took 24 radiologists, they showed them lung scans. They look a little bit like this. And in one of the scans, they hid a gorilla who's about 48 times the size of a normal lung nodule. And 83%, so 20 of the 24 radiologists, didn't notice the gorilla. Unreal.
Well, since I'm up, I might as well tell y'all about that time I had worked in the prison and I had gotten called into office because the people said the inmates was trying to groom me. Let me tell you what happened. So picture this, Pennsylvania, 2008, maybe 2008, 2009. I had worked at a juvenile detention center and I was always looking for ways to make money. I was a single mom. It was just me and my Morty, and I wasn't really making a lot of money in nursing, so I worked at a juvenile detention center because they paid you more than nursing homes. So once I got to juvenile detention center, I met some of the other nurses. That's why you got to talk to people. You don't tell them your business, but you getting theirs. You getting their business. So I was talking to the other nurses, and they were like, they work for the prison system. So my homegirl was working at a county prison in our hometown. So I went and started working over there. The money still didn't seem that good, and I just didn't like how they did things. So I was like, nah. And then I got a call about a Department of a DOC job for a state prison up in Pennsylvania. It's about an hour drive, but there was 2 state prisons right across the street from each other. They had full-time hours, and they was paying bank for that year. So I said I was going to do it. I was young, I was spry, the world was ahead of me. I felt like I could do anything in this world. So I carried my behind on up to these prisons and worked, I think it was like 2 or 3 16s I worked so I could just get it done with. Now you would think that after I did them 3 16s, I carried my behind on, go to sleep. No, I picked up other shifts everywhere, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I went up there, and it was a lot different in the state prisons than it was in the county prisons than it was in the juvenile detention center. In the state prisons, they did not play. There wasn't none of this Joe Familiar laughing, talking with the people. So you get in there, you go into this like room. It's like a big med closet, but it has like a window, and the window has bars. So the inmate comes up, and this is how you give your meds. The inmate comes up to the window, says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, their number. You repeat their number back to them. You open up the book by their number. They stand in lines. They know what lines to get into. And you look at their meds, and you give them their meds. Now, if it was a narcotic or a controlled substance, pills, you had to crush them, float them, and they would take it as a shot. So that way they couldn't, like in a juvenile detention, we would have to say sweep and cough. Like they had to sweep their mouth in front of us and cough. And County prison, they sweeped and they coughed. But in state prison, they crushed it, they floated it in water, and they took it like a shot. So that's what they would do. But there was this one inmate who was a mean cuss. Like, he was really, he just would cuss you out. He was nasty. He was not nice at all. And they warned me about him. They said, listen, when he comes, he thinks that people are cheating him. So when you pull out his Percocet, you show him the card. He needs to see the card of the Percocet that has his name on it. You pull out the two, you show it to him. He has to shake his head. You crush it, and then you float it, and then you give it to him. This is the process for this inmate. If you don't do it this way, he will cuss you out. It'll be a problem. You have to learn this, inmate. And I was like, well, okay. So I was on training for like 2 weeks. As soon as I got done, I knew what to do. He would come up. They always had me in that line, right? He would come up, and I would show him the card. I would pop it, and then I would show him the meds. Then I would crush it, float it, give it to him. Every now and again, there was another inmate that came before him that was like an older person. And I felt like people just know I like older people. I be talking to people all the time. But you really weren't supposed to talk to these people. It wasn't like a rule. It's just the nurses didn't do it. They weren't mean. They just did their jobs and went home. They didn't talk with the inmates. So, I see people and I was like, oh, just talking, trying to make the day go faster because you're just moving. So I noticed the order would always be this older man while I would start talking and laughing, and then the mean guy. Slowly but surely, over a month or so, the mean guy would say, you know what? I like you. You have a good personality. I trust you. You don't have to show me the meds anymore. You don't have to show me the card. You don't have to show me the 2 pills. You just give me my pills because I trust you. And I'm like, you know what? See, these other girls don't know what's going on. They don't know how to talk to people. And this is why this man don't trust them. You know what I mean? He trusts me. I done came in and changed the whole system, right? And then that went on for like a week, right? And then I got called into the office, and I was like, now I'm here on time. I don't bother nobody. Don't nobody bother me. What's going on? They were like showing me the videos. They said, do you see? Eventually, after you start talking to this older man, that he got behind him, the older man would sweeten you up, make you laugh, and then he would come in, and now he's telling you that he trusts you. He's grooming you. He did that to the last nurse and ended up having a baby by her and getting things brought in. She had a baby by the inmate, and she was bringing in stuff for the inmate. And they are figuring out that I was the stupid one and that I was going to be next. So that's why they was being nice to me, and that's why they was being kind to me. The people say that that's how folks in prison, and I'm not saying, I ain't never been to prison. But they said all the time they have to do is just manipulate. They have time to sit and think of ways to manipulate you. They done sat, and it took them a couple months to figure out that I was a dum-dum and that I was going to like to talk to people, and that all they had to do was send the older man ahead of me and then send the mean guy behind me, make me feel that he trusted me, and they thought that eventually they could do to me what they did to the other nurse. The other nurse was there for 20 years, lost everything in her life over this inmate. The more you know. Do you all have prison stories? Let me know. Y'all go and have a good night. I do think that I need to make one thing clear with y'all. Wasn't no way in this world they was going to manipulate me into bringing nothing in there and having no babies by nobody in no prison, just so that we clear. They just thought that since they pulled this on the last nurse, and they had 10 years to do it. They said it started around year 10 for her. They thought they was going to do it to me. It wasn't going to happen, but that's just what they thought, so that we're clear. All right, y'all go on, be blessed.
Aspirin. Just so you know, I literally have lived in Hollywood since I'm 19 turning 20. And I lived in Hollywood. I've seen so much. Okay, I've seen it in the strip clubs. I've seen it in the wrestling clubs. I've seen it in the mud wrestling clubs. I've seen it from Miami to LA. I've seen it LA. I've seen everything. So here's the thing. I don't drink water out of people's water bottles. When I'm invited to dinner parties, I do not eat. I keep a water bottle in my purse. I don't take pills from anybody, even if I have a headache that is blinding. I'm not taking it. I don't even do it in my own home unless I'm by myself because I don't trust what is going on. See what I'm saying? So somehow I knew that. So these people, and Matthew Perry is what we call a body broker. So they use Matthew Perry to set people up. Everybody loves him from Friends. He's whatever I didn't really watch Friends. What was he? Whoever, Chandler. Was he Chandler? Yeah. So he was, whoever, right? And people admire him. So then they get him to open up a rehab.
Fun fact, if you've ever been to a foreign country and thought, the Coca-Cola tastes different here, you're right, it does. Coca-Cola has a very interesting way of getting their product across the globe. Coca-Cola brews the Coca-Cola syrup concentrate at their main facility in Atlanta, Georgia, and then they sell that concentrate to bottling partners across the world. The bottling partners take the concentrate, add water, sweetener, and carbonation to it, then bottle it and sell it to retailers. And that's why Coke tastes different in every country. Depending on where the bottling facility is, they'll use a different sweetener. In the US, they use high fructose corn syrup to sweeten the Coke concentrate, but in many other countries they'll use cane sugar or beet sugar, giving the drink a slightly different taste. Also, since Coke is brewed and bottled locally, the water used in the mixing process is different in every bottling facility. So Coke brewed in Paris will taste slightly different than Coke brewed in Beijing. And finally, each bottling facility will adjust the level of carbonation in the drink to suit local tastes. So some countries have fizzier Coke while other countries have more syrupy Coke.
Based on genital structure, the men should wear skirts and the women should wear pants. The Scots were right all along. The Scottish did it to hide more knives on their body. The Scots were right all along.
Just found out that children brought into this world through dolphin-assisted birth have heavier brains and are often ambidextrous. I want to understand why, because I was not able to find that part of the information, just the findings. And then also, the tinfoil part of me feels like this has to do with the government being like, yep, there's definitely aliens in the ocean. So much to unpack.
Do you know why Elon Musk names everything X? Why he's obsessed with X? American Standard Code for Information Exchange, where it assigns values to letters and numbers. Take a look right here. For X, it's 88. And what is 88? Yeah, it's not a coincidence. He did what he did. We saw what we saw. He is what he is.
I had one client who I was speaking to who said, could you tell me that when I'm going out, my animal is always biting my feet? And I don't understand why he does that. So I asked the cat, and he told me that I don't like my mother going out, and she doesn't tell me if she's coming back. So I said to her, don't forget, before you go, tell your cat that you're going out, and you'll be shopping for a while, but you definitely will be coming back to him, and you're going to find that makes a big difference to the cat.
Did you fucking know that your entire self-worth was programmed into you by the time that you were 7? Like, yeah, let's talk about that shit. Because if you're running around here feeling like you're not good enough, you have to earn love, or that you're just too much to fucking exist, that shit, it wasn't your fucking fault. You were literally just running around like a tiny, clueless little human being, absorbing everybody else's shit around you. And never once was your brain like fact-checking that motherfucking shit. Like, never once was it like, is this really true about myself? Is this really a thing that I think and feel is accurately truthful about myself? No, that bitch just went with that programming. It's like, this is what we're doing now. So let's talk about what kind of programming we're actually talking about. Did you fucking know that if your caregivers only loved you when you were being good, that your brain decided that the only way to earn love was by being fucking perfect? Did you fucking know that if your parents ignored your feelings or told you to suck it up, that you learned that having emotions is weak And that's why you bottle shit up until you completely fucking explode. Did you fucking know that the reason why you have trouble saying no is because your boundaries weren't accepted when you were a kid? You learned that other people's comfort was more important than your own. If your parents stressed about money when you were a kid, your brain is literally running a program that tells you success is hard. And that's why you sabotage your own abundance. Did you fucking know that negative self-talk is just a reflection of how people talk to you when you were a kid? If you were shamed, criticized, or bullied, guess what? Your inner monologue still sounds like that. Did you know that if you're the strong one in your family, your brain literally fucking panics when it thinks about asking for help? Your brain feels like the only way to survive is by doing it alone. Do you see the fucking problem here? We're all walking around thinking that this shit's like personality traits, when really it's just survival mechanisms from a tiny version of us that didn't know any fucking better. This shit is wild because it's all fucking real. And reparenting yourself is gonna feel like rewriting the fucking code. Yeah, just like your brain absorbed all that garbage, it can rewrite all that fucking garbage. It's literally like computer code. We can reprogram it. That's why affirmations, positive self-talk, and rewiring your nervous system actually fucking works. That's why healing feels like you're fighting against every fucking thing you were taught. Because you literally are. Like, you are. So if nobody ever fucking told you, it's not your fucking fault. But it is your responsibility to fix it. And that's what I'm here for. So stick around. We're going to unlearn this bullshit together.